how long had you been searching for a job, or did you had just start, right? Were you in a career search for a couple months before you came to us, or was it like, hey, I need, was it right away?
Yeah, no, I had started putting feelers out probably 3 months before I met you.
Okay.
I had taken some time for myself when I left my last role.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, I had battled cancer, and it was just nice to have a little break. My prior company gave me a pretty long runway with that 1 year severance to kind of go and figure out what I wanted to do. So I really started what I'll call true job searching in like October of 2020.
Okay. And then at what point did you say, hey, whatever you're doing, whether the activity or the interviews just weren't going your way or whatever, at what point did you say, hey, I think I might need some help with this?
Probably in that January, like at the end of December. So
Yeah.
I knew, I had in my head that, and this is probably one of the things that I'll say, you helped me with. I had in my head that it was the end of the year, people stop hiring because they go on holiday, et cetera, et cetera. So I was making excuses, but I wasn't getting the activity that I expected based on my experience, my education, my skill set. Supply chain is in high demand at that time. And so me finding a job really should not have been difficult.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel that I was getting the level of inquiries that I was expecting at the director level and higher.
Yeah.
And that's what it was really about. Is I very easily could have taken a step backwards, taken a manager type role. I turned down some job offers because they were companies that were trying to get somebody with my skill set at a manager's salary.
Yep.
And I wasn't willing to do that. I didn't have to do that, was the nice thing.
Yeah.
And I also, when I came across your program and kind of looked into the details, I realized that I had not been networking in Houston.
Yeah.
And here's the fun part. I'm not staying in Houston, but everything happens for a reason. But I wasn't connected here like I used to be back in Michigan. Now the good thing is that we are going back to Michigan. But it wasn't my connections that got me the job there either. It was just good alignment, between what the job was looking for and my prior skill set. So everything fell in place. But I will say that overall the time, the last 3 months that we've spent together and me working through the ECU program, I've learned a lot of skills that I know I will carry with me. How to network more effectively, because I can't say with certainty, we all hope that this will be the last job we need, that I will climb, the corporate ladder at a very good company, but you never know. I thought that at my last job too, and things happen and change.
I know that's really the key point that I want to bring up is you said, that you were potentially thinking about taking a step back, and now I wrote down crazy and circled it, by the way, because I was like, now you're above $250,000. You got a 30% increase. The RSUs are coming, full relocation, 90 days. Like, man, imagine just if you would have took one of those other positions.
Right.
So what did you find most valuable about working together? Because I know the automated thing led to this, but was it that, or was it the networking piece, or was it the interview prep, or what was it for you, would you say?
The program helped me do something that I hadn't been doing, and that was networking and doing it effectively, getting people to actually pick up the phone and talk to you. So I would say that was probably the number one takeaway for me, is you got me in the right mindset to go out there and realize that I have something to offer, that companies should be looking for people like me, instead of the other way around. Trying to remember the way I expressed it to somebody else is that my mindset, I think, before the program was kind of like, I need to find a job versus a company saying, I need to find someone like Chris. So that's what it ended up becoming. It gave me a renewed, I've always been a pretty confident person, but I think it gave me a renewed confidence that, you know, the job market was there. It was just a matter of me selling myself correctly. You know, I think that my profile, the help you guys gave me with that and the new resume was outstanding. It got a lot of kudos, you know, from people that I talked to, just saying, hey, Chris, it's just a matter of time. You know, you have a great background. You're selling yourself right. So your guys' help with that was tremendous. So there was a lot of great things that I'm going to be able to carry with me down the road. And like I said, I hope to not have to use it again. But now I feel like I'm armed with a new tool set. That if it's needed, I'll know what to do.
Yeah. Advice you would have for someone who's considering working with us? Because I do know, imagine, you know, back if you would have accepted one of those positions and not be where you at now at this, you know, considerable, you know, exciting new role. What advice would you have for someone who's maybe considering working with us?
Stick with it. And what I mean by that is I think that one of the best pieces of advice that I remember you giving was, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not making progress.
Yeah.
You know, there were times where I was uncomfortable. I'm not somebody who's a cold call type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or just talk to someone that you don't know. But that's what every interview is, you know, every interview, you're going to have to talk to someone you don't know. Or if you're networking with industry leaders, they don't know you, which I've shared with you before, is the #1 problem everyone has. Because if more people knew about how awesome your skills were and how amazing you are, you would absolutely never have to worry about employment ever, right?
Right. No, but that's really what it came down to, though, but it was that networking piece. Like once I've always had an interview, I've never struggled with that. Because it almost like it turns that trigger and says, oh, they want to talk to you. That's why they want the interview. Whereas networking, it was, I really don't like, you know, putting myself out there. And so I always struggled with that piece. And that fear is gone. I mean, I don't think I will ever hesitate, you know, to continue my networking from here on out. I mean, I want to make sure that I do it right. You know, I've made connections, I think, during this, and here's the bad, probably 700 more connections.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
when we get that automated system in place, after people get hired because of that automated system, they'll show me graphs of their past 90 days. And it's like, before working together, it's like, and then it like goes back down.
Yep.
But absolutely, I'm glad everything worked out for you. This is awesome.
Yeah, same here. I have we have 2 very happy families. Mine and my wife, we're going home. You know, it's going to allow us to do some things that have been on our bucket list for a while, as far as a cottage in northern Michigan, where we both grew up. So it's exciting.